My name is Norma Ochoa Urban-Palomarez. My service learning project was done with the Chin Ministry of Louisville. This summer was filled with the joy of discovery, learning, sharing, and reflection. As I read through the Woolfolk textbook, it became my guide for writing the curriculum, planning the lessons, and teaching the 2019 Chin Ministry Summer Middle School Remedial Reading and Writing Program. My final SLP reflection focuses on my classroom use of Woolfolk's guidelines promoting language learning, strategies for encouraging student motivation, and guidelines for encouraging student self-efficacy. The purpose of the Chin Ministry Summer Reading and Writing Program was to remediate and strengthen the refugee students' matriculation skills in English, to minimize summer learning loss, and to focus on the identification of students' strengths and interests as a means of encouraging them to think, talk, read, and learn. All of my students came equipped with LISD-issued iPads, and like all teenagers, they were fairly adept at using that technology socially, but their use was limited to consumptive rather than creative endeavors. So a blended learning environment seemed appropriate, and one of my opportunities was to move them from an almost strictly social use of their iPads into the academic and creative possibilities that lie at their fingertips with their technology. The guidelines are prescriptive in nature. I was able to implement guideline number 5, keeping students involved and engaged. The examples given included small group and pairs work and the creation of situations where students can talk at length. The learning looked like this. Woolfolk's strategies for encouraging student motivation were very enlightening. The greatest improvement in motivation for all of the students came about when we discussed personal narratives and the fact that each of us has a story to tell. As we worked individually on personal narratives in Google Slides, we went to work collectively, gathering all of their stories, and as a class produced an ebook that highlighted them individually and as a group. Probably my single biggest takeaway from this course, however, was the idea of efficacy. I immediately and instinctively understood the initial concept of teacher efficacy, but it Woolfolk's guidelines for encouraging student efficacy that I was most drawn to and worked the hardest at implementing in my classroom. It was as easy as following the guidelines. The students' successful interaction with the learning mediums that we shared fueled their confidence and their desire to learn. I know that the intrinsic satisfaction and the realization that they are competent and capable gives them their own sense of efficacy and will hopefully jumpstart their educational journey in this new life venue as they enter school again this fall. Using the students' iPads, we began on a platform that they were comfortable socially with, technology, and moved that adaptability into matriculation with Google Classroom and Edmodo venues. We worked for 5 full weeks, 2 classes of 3 hours per week. I'm sure that I learned more than they did, but the SLP was an amazing experience for all of us. Through this educational psychology course, as I begin my teaching assignment for next year, I feel like I am better prepared to face the challenges of teaching 8th grade English to my Title I predominantly LEP students. I am now armed with the knowledge and SLP teaching experience gained from this class, the Woolfolk textbook, and from the teacher facilitator, Dr. Love, in the areas of language acquisition, student motivation, and efficacy. I will be using Woolfolk's guidelines for promoting language learning. I will be ever vigilant with the teacher-student relationships and attempt to find ways to motivate my students using Woolfolk's strategies for encouraging student motivation. But most importantly, I will incorporate Woolfolk's guidelines for encouraging student self-efficacy daily in my classroom and in my lesson plans. I will be forever mindful that what Woolfolk calls the dramatic diversity and remarkable technology are pillars of truth in our 21st century learning classrooms. My hope is that these students will learn and grow academically and that they will be capable and ready when the time comes to lead the next generation of learners and thinkers because, like for many of us, a teacher believed in them even when they might not have believed in themselves.